This is video number 3 of our 5 foreclosure and options series. Last week, we talked about loan modification and short sale. Today, we're going to talk about selling to a cash buyer while you're in foreclosure. This video is for you if you've decided to sell the property because your auction date is only weeks away. Okay, rather than risk losing everything at the foreclosure, you're going to try to get everything you can now out of your equity. So in this case, a cash buyer would be the single most effective solution for your situation. Why? Because they work. Okay, no repairs, no lender conditions, no appraisals. If it's done right, you're at the closing table in 7 to 14 days with money in your hand. But if it's done wrong, you end up signing a contract that was written to protect the buyer and leave you exposed. So here's how to tell the difference, and here are the things that you must have in your contract in order to protect your best interests as the seller. Number 1, no sight unseen offers. Okay, walk away from anybody that is giving you a final price offer over the phone or by mail without stepping foot in your home. That is not a real buyer, because real cash buyers, they make time to go see the property that they buy. They walk through it once, maybe twice, then they close. No exceptions. Is that fast? Is that simple? But if this buyer insists that that's how they buy properties, this is what you must have on the contract so you can protect your interest. All right? So 5 days inspection period, no more than that. After 5 days, guess what? Their $5,000 deposit becomes non-refundable. That is non-negotiable. Number 2, no extension on inspection period. So you gave them the 5 days. On the 4th day, they come back to you and say, Mr. Seller, we're going to need another 10 days to inspect the property. Well, that's your answer right there. They are not inspecting the property. They're shopping for a buyer who will pay more. And real buyers, guess what? They have their cash ready. They don't play around. Once they submit an offer, they're ready to close. Okay? So they don't need 3 weeks to make a decision. So your contract must be explicit. No extensions on inspection periods. 5 days ends in 5 days. They close or they lose their deposit. This is not a negotiating point. Number 3, no assignment of contract. Okay? You as the seller have to ask them, Mr. Buyer, is this an assignment of contract? If they say yes, stop the conversation. It's over. An assignment of contract means they were never the buyer for the home. They're selling the contract to someone else, and while they search for that someone, 3 weeks, 4 weeks of your foreclosure timeline disappeared. And if they can't find a buyer in time, you've lost your window and possibly your home. So the contract must prohibit assignment. This buyer that you're talking to is the one that's going to close, not some mysterious third party, not their cousin or not some other partner. This buyer. Number 4, there will be no memorandum on the contract because this is a trap. A memorandum is a cloud on your title, and this is how failed wholesalers reaches from beyond the deal to control your property. If the deal falls through and with fake buyers, it will. That recorded interest sits on your title like a lien, and you cannot sell your property on your own later on until they release it, and they will use that leverage guaranteed. Okay, so you must bar any recording on your property. Nothing gets filed. You tell them that. Crystal clear title from start to finish. Number 5, there have to be an exact closing date on the contract. So if they applied all of the things that you said so far, but they left the closing date blank, that is not a soft date. That is a soft exit. Okay? Real cash buyers give a calendar date to close. Like I said, 7 to 14 days, full stop. So your contract must have a hard closing date, and remind them about that non-refundable deposit, because that deposit is your leverage. And as a seller, you've got to use that against them. So if a buyer pushes back on these 5 things, that's your answer. You don't need any more information. You need to walk away. Now, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of professional wholesalers out there like myself who do business right and who run clean deals. But we are outnumbered by people who start with a lie, with a fat lie, with the seller saying that they buy houses for cash. and they buy it as is. And on top of that, they put a 21-day inspection period while they're saying that they buy as is. And then they build on that lie as time goes on, leaving the seller all confused. Okay, you don't need that if you have a time frame situation, like meaning if you have a sale date that's literally 3 weeks out, you don't need cash in weeks, you need cash in days. My name is Charles Maligaya. I'm a licensed broker, and I bought, sold, and negotiated over 100 of these deals. I know what a cash buyer sounds like, and I know what the contract language that protects you as the seller. I will tell you straight up for free, no cost, whether that offer you have in your hand is a real offer or it's a trap. Look me up on social media. I am active on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. You can verify me. You can see the work that I'm doing. You can see the short sales that we're negotiating. Then contact me on my social media or stop by at our office at 9000 South Orange Blossom Trail, Orlando, Florida 32809. We're located just outside of Florida Mall and right before the Turnpike exit. Bring your contract, bring your questions. Let's walk through it together over a cup of coffee. There's no fees, no sales pitch, just a straight read from someone who's been in this room before. Your auction date is coming, so don't waste another day on a buyer who was never real. I hope this helps.